cops were coming down. I had like a $40,000 ticket that I had to fight because literally a government issued ticket for $40,000.
Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. June 10th, UFC 289, Canada. You called for it. They gave it to you, right? Miranda Maverick. She's also ranked number 15, which is huge. What does this opportunity mean to you?
Yeah, like you said, it's this is gonna be like the craziest thing ever. Fighting in Canada in my hometown, and yeah, going against a girl that she's the toughest opponent to date. But I'm really looking forward to it. I feel like MMA has really grown in Canada, and it's the first time UFC is coming back in like 3 years or something. So I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, it's like perfect timing to have a coming out party, so to say. It's perfect location.
Exactly. Like we're heading over to Vancouver. It's beautiful there. I'm excited to see all the nature, and yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, and what do you think of her and the style that she brings?
She's obviously super well-rounded, talented girl. But I think it's gonna be a great fight. Definitely one for the fans. We both are down to scrap. I think it's gonna be like a lot of like back and forth of striking, grappling, everything because we're both well rounded. So I think it's going to be an exciting fight.
Do you see a lot of similarities in your guys' style?
Yeah, I feel like we are very similar. And I feel like I'm like the longer fighter, so I got the advantage.
It's kind of like you're fighting yourself in some ways a little bit, right? Like it's an interesting matchup.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I feel about it too. And that's probably how she feels about it as well. So that's probably why she called me out. But yeah, like I'm really looking forward to this one, like watching it unfold. And I think that I think my game's better than her game, and like I'm ready to test it out.
Yeah, for sure. And for her, she's on back-to-back wins against Sabina Mazo and Shanna Young. Did anything stick out with those performances from her?
You know, and nothing like stuck out. I feel like she's obviously an ever evolving person. She works hard. Like she wouldn't be where she's at without work ethic and everything. But yeah, nothing in particular stood out. I mean, not that I want to give away, at least.
Your last fight, during the post-fight press conference, you talked about the pressure you felt, like you carried the loss with you. How was that? Carrying that and kind of not being able to talk about it. Like out in the open as well.
It's one of those things like blessing in disguise kind of thing, because now even though I'm on that win, I still like challenge myself and like make sure that I still feel that loss so that it keeps me sharp, and it keeps me like dedicated to the craft and like focusing and getting better each day. So it was tough carrying that for so long, and even though it's gone, I'm happy that I had to do it.
Natalia Silva, we just saw her fight like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. She's
Yep.
somebody that you're probably going to end up seeing again in the future, right?
I'm hoping. I think I can see it. Us two title fight.
There you go. There you go. And also like heading into that fight, you go online, you go on social media. It seemed like a lot of people underestimated you heading into it. Did you feel that a little bit?
I mean, I don't really read too much of this stuff online. Like it doesn't. I just disregard all the negative things and just take all the positive ones that people say. So, I mean, I didn't think about it too much.
Yeah, you do kind of sometimes see that fighters can, be really affected by the negative like backlash or just negativity online and how do you balance that? Because you're online as well. I mean, you're on Twitter's the worst place to be.
I know. Yeah. No, you know what it is? It's like part of the industry is an entertainment industry, And I feel like realizing that even if people are saying rude things and hating and all that, they're still watching. Like, as it's like that, what Conor McGregor say, love me or hate me, you're still watching me. Like, it is true. And I mean, you obviously do want people to be loving you and following you in a positive manner, but at the same time there's gonna be those haters, and they're just like, it's good. It's good to have both. Keep them in check.
Going back to the fight, you go back. Do you watch your fights again after it's over?
Yeah, yeah, I make sure to watch my fights, correct the mistakes, the holes that I've made during those fights, and yeah, I make sure to watch them.
Outside of the mistakes, what did you think of like how you performed and how you followed the game plan and things like that?
I mean, I followed the game plan. I like we kind of anticipated, but I didn't think she was going to be able to move that much, and I didn't. I mean, we didn't have the right game plan for her style, and but I was too kind of like laser focused on doing that game plan instead of just like realizing that this is a fight, and let's just go out there and fight. Like, forget about the technique, forget about trying this and trying that. Like, just go out there and fight.
Yeah, for sure. And a couple weeks after your fight, we saw Alexa Grasso defeat Valentina Shevchenko. What was your reaction to that? Were you surprised?
That was crazy. I was surprised, but at the same time, like, she spun and she like went and took her back. Like, that happens. Like, sometimes that happens. Like, 99% of the time, maybe Shevchenko wins, but there is that one time. And I mean, who knows, that maybe it was just premature. She just got her back, and there it was. But maybe she would have beat her straight up. You never know. That's what's so cool about the fight game.
Yeah, for sure. And it also shows you that, preparations is so important, being ready for those moments, right? Of like your coaches
Hmm.
dissecting your opponent and then you going into training camp and being ready for that moment just in case it comes to you. And I think that's what it was, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, they watched her and they knew that she spin, and that was their entry in.
Preparations, right? It seemed like you've done it mostly at Niagara Top Team. How did you structure this camp?
So yeah, this it camp decided to stay at home. Figure we're fighting in Canada, so might as well keep the camp in Canada. I brought in some girls, some people from around here, like, just a little bit farther around here, but then also some people from like Calgary, BC. And I've had like a great camp, great training partners. Like, a lot of girls have really like come out to help me out, and then as well as that, not only the girls but like the small guys. I've had some training partners that, like, for this camp, they were amazing and they were super helpful. I feel like everyone is like really banding together and like getting me prepared for this fight. My coaches, my training partners, like, everyone is like, just, I feel like they're laser focused in on me, and I'm so grateful for it.
Anything you tweaked or changed up in this training camp compared to, let's say, the previous couple?
Yeah, like, couple things, but like nothing that kind of is like, oh, we like reinvented the wheel on this. Like, just little things we've learned from the past. So we kind of like, oh yeah, remember, let's do this instead. But like, nothing crazy. Like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And we just like, we work hard and we train hard and we're consistent. We never take days off. Like, the whole team is like that. And so I think, I'm ready for anything. I'm ready for any style that she comes out, anything.
You mentioned you brought some fighters in. How have they impacted your camp?
They've been awesome. Just because, when you bring someone and you have those like nerves a little bit, you don't know like how they're gonna be. You don't know anything about them, and so I found it awesome. The girls that decided to come in, they were amazing. Like, so humble. All, like, all fighters, I feel like, are humble, like good people deep down. Like, you get humbled in the gym every day, so you gotta be like a good person. And I feel like the girls that I met this particular camp, like I'll be friends with them for life because they were just like so cool.
With sparring, like, what is your attitude towards that, like during a camp? Do you enjoy sparring like a couple times a week, or is it just like, okay, we spar like once a week, that's all I need for preparation?
No, I like sparring, man. If it were my choice, I would have a training schedule like Strickland, just spar every day. But no, my coaches they let me spar twice a week, and so I spar Thursdays and Saturdays.
Is it important for you to get your mind in that environment twice a week? Just so you are better prepared rather than not sparring at all. Because you've seen fighters say that they don't spar at all in camp.
Yeah, I think everyone's different. Like some people learn different, and I feel like me, I kind of like learn on the job, and so for me sparring is like important, even if it's just like touch sparring or something like that. I feel like that's when I learn. If I'm like trying to remember like combo, man, you tell me like a combo that's more than three numbers, I'm like, ugh, like I suck at that. Just let me get in there, get into like a flow state, and scrap. And I feel like yeah, everyone's different though. Some people don't spar at all, and then look at them, they perform. So who knows?
Exactly. And you know, you win this fight, you get a number next to your name. It's like the next stage of your career, the next level. What are your expectations out of yourself against Miranda Maverick?
Um, I expect to go in there and show that I belong to be up there. I belong to be in the top 15, and that I'm ready for these opportunities. And I'm happy to jump on this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to like the doors that open up after this. And yeah, I want to show Canada, and I want to show the world. I want to show everyone that like I belong up in the with the top 15 girls and keep moving up.
When you sit back and think about like what you've been through the last couple of years, especially with COVID and Canada kind of like having the restrictions a little bit more than other parts of the world, and you have to go in, I remember you going to Vegas for a while and you had to stay there, and how has that all just like led to this point of your career? Like, how has that impacted you?
Yeah, COVID really shook things up, and this country is like a lot different now. Like post COVID, it feels like a different country. And it's crazy sitting back and reflecting and like thinking about all the times. And like, yeah, exactly what you said. Like there was a time that it was illegal for us to go to the gym, that people were like narking on us when because we would all have to park all at different places and then like sneak in the gym in like 15-minute increments until we're all there to make a practice. And like cops were coming down. I had like a $40,000 ticket that I had to fight because yeah, literally a government issued ticket for $40,000 because I came back and I didn't have the right test. So I went and got a test at the airport. It was like $350. I go to the border and they're like, no, you need the 1 day test instead of the 3 day or whatever, vice versa. And so they gave me a ticket of $40,000. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But whatever. That's all dealt with and over with. And but yeah, it was some wild times for a while. But I feel like we were resilient through that, and this is our time to like reap the benefits of the rewards that we've been building.
40,000. That's a hefty ticket for anybody.
It was like they were just give and take. It was like multiple ones given tickets about because you wouldn't stay in the COVID hotel and all that because I'm like, no, I'm out here, like just take off. But dude, it was wild for a bit.
Did you get that ticket taken care of? Did you have to pay the
Yeah,
ticket?
yeah. I ended up having to pay like a lawyer to fight it, and so it was like so that I got rid of, and so I ended up having to pay the lawyer like $3,000 or something. So it still fucking sucks, but better than 40.
Definitely better than 40. Wow, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and now it's like everybody's just traveling and there's no problem. It's weird, right?
I know. Yeah,
It's so hard.
seriously.
One last thing I wanted to pick your brain about is the main event of UFC 289. We were supposed to see Juliana Pena in the trilogy against Amanda Nunes. Now Irene Aldana steps up and is going to face Pena, or not Pena, Nunes. It's an interesting fight, right? Like, what do you see in that matchup?
Yeah, that's a super interesting fight. And initially I was thinking, I'm like, oh, Nunes, I think she's got it. Like she's a champ. She knows how to be the champ. Like, but the wolf coming up the hill is hungrier than the wolf on top of the hill. And I don't know. I don't want to touch that one.
You don't think some people are saying that we could see an upset in this fight.
I you never know. Look at a Shevchenko fight, right? How many people are like, oh, she's got it for sure. You never know, man. The fight game's crazy.
June 10th, UFC 289, Vancouver. Thank you so much, Jasmine, for the time and all the best in the fight. It's a big one for you, especially in Canada. And hopefully, they go to Canada a couple times next year. I feel like they will. I mean, it seems like the Canadians really like their MMA.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be a good one.